We are now lesson 5C, angle properties and triangles. So if we take a look, here are all of the definitions and the ideas we took from our parallel lines. So our parallel lines, the transversal, our Z rules, our opposite rules. What do we know about an opposite angle? What do we know about opposite angles? If I made an X, what do I know about the angles on top and the angles on the bottom? They're identical. They will always be identical. So if I made an X, the one up top is identical to the one at the bottom. Okay? So that's why this guy right here is going to be the same size as this guy down here. Okay? Identical. Those are opposites. Corresponding, same side of the street. Supplementary, adding to 180. Alternate, that's your Z rules. Now we're talking about congruence versus similarity. The minute you see the word congruent means they're identical in every way. So they're going to be same shape, size, and angles. But the minute you see similar, the only thing that's different is their size, because we're going to be comparing them. So now we're going to take a look at all of these on different diagrams. So if I've got a diagram here, and whenever they give me 3 letters, as we know, we're always looking at the one in the middle. So this guy's telling us to look at M to T to H. So if I'm looking at M to T to H, they're asking about that angle. So they're saying it's an exterior angle of triangle MAT. Now it wants us to determine the angles of the triangle MAT. Well, if I know one angle right here, I need to know minimum 2 in a triangle to find the third. Is there a second way, or a way I can find the second angle in that triangle? I can use my supplementary property. Supplementary angles have to add to how big? 180 straight line. So if I see right here, I've got a straight line. So I can take this 180 degrees, and I can subtract the 155 right above it. And that's going to give me how big for this little baby angle right in there? That's 25 degrees. That's going to give me 25 degrees. So now I know 2 numbers out of 3 for my triangle. So now we know all triangles are 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract 40 degrees and subtract 25 degrees. And that's going to give me my missing angle. So how big is my missing angle? 115 degrees. Okay. If we look at the very bottom, it says prove that angle E is equal to A plus B. Well, let's throw some numbers on there. We should be able to prove it without, but we're going to throw some numbers to help us out this first time. So I'm going to say that A is, let's say A is 50 degrees. All right. Okay. Now, angle A is 50. Yes. I'm also going to be told something else about angle B. But we're not going to put a number there. I'm going to put a number there in a moment. But I want us to find a couple little rules here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my highlighter and I'm going to start shading some Zs or anything I can find that makes a Z. So there's a Z. So that means that this little angle up here has got to be angle equal to angle B. That's what that's showing me. So far I know that. I also know that for a Z rule, if I do a Z this way, that this entire angle has to be equal to this entire angle. So I know D is 50 plus something. So if I say B is 40 degrees, no, we're going to say he's 30 degrees. We're going to say B is 30 degrees. All right, B is 30 degrees. So, if B is 30 degrees, that means this little chunk up here is 30 degrees. So then that means how big is this full angle altogether? 80. Now, if I said that this part up here has an alternate with D, that means D is 80 degrees. Now, what do I know about the letter D and the letter C? They have to form what? A straight line. So how can I find the number for C if I know D? A straight line should add to how big? 180. So how do I find C if I know 80? You're going to subtract. So this guy should equal 100 degrees. Now we can also check our triangle. This blue triangle right here should also add to 180 degrees because it's a triangle. So if I've got 100, 50, and 30, they have to equal 180. Do they give me 180? Yes, they do. Now let's take a look at letter E. Question saying, how come A plus B gives me E? Well, let's take a look. What does letter E give us? How do we know angle E? Is there a way to find out? Exactly. So you can look for your opposites. So opposite to right here, opposite to D is 80. That's one way of finding it. Another way is this. Take a look. These will form a straight line. I'm going to make a straight line with a green right here. There's a straight line right there. Well, that means the 100 and the blue 80 have to equal 180 for that straight line. So there's many different properties we can use to find out, to prove that this is true. Okay? So this guy has to equal what this guy and this guy add up to. Now the reason is because these two have to add to 180 because they make a straight line, right? Well, we know that the 100 plus the other two have to add to a triangle, which is 180. Okay, so that's the whole purpose behind that one. Let's take a look at a couple more. So when it's asking me for certain angles, again, you got to locate them according to who's in the middle. So I want N to M to O. So N to M to O. So I want this angle right here. Okay, and then my next one is M N O. So M to N to O. That's the second one I want. And then my third one is QMO. So where's my Q? Q to M to O. So I want that one there. All right. So I've got all three parts labeled. First thing we should do, since we have parallel lines, is find our Z's. Okay? So let's find a Z first. So we're going to go and we're going to find right here. Do I have a Z anywhere? Do I have a Z anywhere with that guy? Sort of, but it's very small. It's coming this way and going back. So there's a frontwards S or Z, and you can do the backwards one too. So the backwards one we can put in green, the actual Z, here, down the middle, and across. So, what do you notice about my green Z? Am I able to find out my red part? Let's take a look. I want to find this one right here. I'm going to find this red one right now. So I'm going to find angle N, this one right here, M to N to O. Look at my green Z. This number has to match those two together. So how big would this little red section be then? 47, because 20 plus this red section has to equal to 67. So this guy's going to be 47 degrees. So this guy is 47 degrees. All right. Now we're going to find another one. All right. Any others? What are you seeing in there? So let me just erase all the colors and write the numbers in, just so we can see where they're at. So we said this guy's 47 right there. I need to find this part and this part. Well, do we see a triangle in there anywhere? Well, hopefully you can see a three-sided triangle. Right there. And what do we know triangles add to? 180. So we're going to take 180 and subtract those two, and we're going to find this angle right up here. And that's the angle we need right there. So how big is that angle when we subtract? Okay, we got 94 degrees. Perfect. Now, our last angle we're being asked to find up here is Q to M to O. So that's this little guy right there. This little blue one. Well, let's take a look. The blue one, the 94 and the 67 all make one straight line that should add to 180 degrees. So I've got one full 180 that I can subtract two angles from. And that's going to give me my little blue guy. 19 degrees. Yep, the little blue section should be 19 degrees, you betcha. So, again, we're using every single property to identify which regions we have, which ones we're given. All right. Those ones are for you to practice. You need to find a few more numbers on there. You need to find a few more numbers. So put the ones that we had on there. You know this one. You know this one. And we know this guy, which was 19 degrees. You find the other missing angles it's asking for. Push pause now and play when you're ready. Okay, let's look at the first one. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so if we look at our first set, this section right here is going to equal this section right here. Yes, we didn't change the numbers. So this guy here should be 55 degrees. Now in our triangle, so I've got this guy right here is a triangle. So that means 55, 30, and this angle here have to equal 180. And that's going to give me a triangle size in here of 95 degrees. Now, this adds to a straight line right there, which gives this guy 20 degrees. Now, like I said in that couple minutes ago, if we look at it this way, so I'm going to draw a green line. Here's my straight line, same side street. So if I'm looking for an angle and I see this 65 right here, same side of the street, this guy right here is going to be 65 as well. Okay? So this guy here is 65. This guy right here, if I add these two together, I get 115 degrees. Now let's look at a backward Z, like an S. If I go like this, down and left, there's too many. Hang on there, just a sec. I'll redraw the numbers, just give me a sec. It was far too much on there. Okay, 65, 10, 30. Okay, we had 55 degrees, 20 degrees, 95 degrees. This guy was 65 degrees. Now, this part right here is going to match this part right here. That's what I wanted to show you, and it's because of the Z and the alternates. So we know that the inside alternates for Z, this part's going to be the same as this part. But then the outside alternates are going to be the same as well. That means this part here, the 95 and 120, that's going to be 115. And that's going to be the 115 here. Now, if we go back to that corresponding rule means same side of the street. If I consider this my street right here I'm looking at, and I want to be above the street on my drawing, this guy right here is 115, so who's going to match him? It's got to be this guy right here, 115 degrees. Okay? Good to go? Okay. Now it's because it's on the same side of the street. We consider this our street right here. Okay, it's a corresponding rule. Okay. Have we found all of our degrees? The next one we need to find this guy right here. So we've got 55 degrees. 55 degrees is this section right here, is also this section right here. Now, how do I know he's 55? Well, everybody, do we have another triangle? We certainly do. So, I can take 180 and minus 115 and minus 10, and I'm going to get my 55 up here. Now, you're going to do the exact same thing with that guy, with the 65 and the 20, and you're going to get this guy over here. Okay, so this guy should be 95 right there. Okay? Now, if we check our straight line rule right here, 95, 30, and 55 all have to add up to a straight line, 180. Okay? So there's many ways you can check your answers just by knowing one or two different numbers. This concludes lesson 3G.